Welcome back. In 2023, world champion Magnus Carlsen refused to defend his title, and Ding Liren became the new world champion. And in Grenke Chess Classic, they play for the first time since Ding was crowned. So let's see how the game went. So in the first game, Magnus was playing with white pieces. He plays d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, d5, takes, usual line. Bishop f5, e3, knight b7, knight h4, trying to take this bishop. Bishop goes to e4, f3, bishop g6, g4. So Magnus is taking up some space on king side, and he maybe wants to play even bishop d3, or okay, he'll take the bishop and then try to go for this and create some a3, b4, rook b1, b5. He takes, plays queen c2, knight f8, long castle now. Magnus goes for a bit different approach, bishop e1. It looks kind of weird, and here we have long side castle from both sides. And this means Magnus will try to create something on king side, and Dean will try to basically defend everything. a6, rook g2, kinda shuffling around h5. At this point Magnus has a huge advantage, because I would say two bishops, that's 1 point. And then, like, you see how Magnus created, like, he took up all the space. So it's actually tough to play, but Dean strikes and he's trying to play in the center. c5 was played, d takes c5, bishop c5, knight a4. Now bishop takes this pawn, queen b3. And so now Magnus is setting up some tricks here. So there are some bishop g3, but of course knight can jump or bishop can jump. There is rook c2, knight b6. There are like a lot of threats. d4, rook c2, queen d6, bishop a5. So you see how Magnus kinda, bringing the pieces towards the skin. So it becomes kinda dangerous. Now queen d5 is played, and the point is now Magnus takes an exchange. Rook d8, knight c5, which is a mistake. Magnus should have played bishop c4, and then some, let's say, knight f4, knight c5. But Magnus decides to trade, knight d5 is played, bishop d3, and the point is now Dean is bringing his knight to a game, and now it's actually very tough to play for white, because they are no longer better, though they are up in exchange. So Magnus plays knight e6, f takes e6, rook c5, rook d5, and here Magnus should have taken this and tried to play an endgame up in exchange, because this pawn is not going anywhere, and Magnus maybe can go for rook h1, h6 and try to take pawns on king side. But Magnus played rook c4, and now after a5, protecting this knight on b4, bishop b4, rook d6, rook c5, attacking this pawn, b6, protecting this pawn, rook c4, e5, and Magnus sacrifices an exchange back. And this point position is very dry, and now it's draw, because Magnus won't be able to win it just like this. Even if he takes this pawn, it's probably, it's still an easy draw for black pieces, because it's opposite color bishops, and these endgames are very tough to win if you have the same material. And here basically white can't achieve any progress, because only move they can play is h6, but then just takes, and bishop will go on this diagonal back and forth. Even if this pawn is taken, it's still a draw. Or this pawn, not both of them, we still gotta protect one of them to make sure there is no pass pawn on b file. But yeah, players made few moves and agreed to draw. And now they play the second game, and now Dean is playing with white pieces, and he starts with d4 as well. knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, bishop b4, bishop d2, takes, d5. So yeah, let's skip the theory. Okay, knight c3 is played, knight d7, knight d5. So basically, right now, the position is already equal. Black have beautiful bishop on d5, which controls crucial e4 square. They're ready to break by playing c6 or c5. And now the position is just, I would say Magnus will have no problems making a draw in this position with black pieces. Now he activates his bishop on this diagonal, knight e1 is played. You see, now Dean is placing his pieces very passive. He traded and now he just, on this level it's almost, unless you blunder something, but it's an easy draw for both players. h3, rook c6, queen b2, kind of putting pressure on this pawn. b5, rook c6, queen a3, putting pressure on a5, and maybe go queen e7. Right now, actually, Dean pressed Magnus a little bit. He plays queen e7, and he kind of making it clear he wants to attack. And the point is, there is queen e8 and stuff. f6 is being played, knight e1. Dean is trying to bring his knight maybe to c5, create pass pawn. Maybe he wants to play knight d3, knight f4, knight h5 and attack this. Dean has very good ideas. Knight d3, and he actually brings his knight to b4 because pawn needs to be protected. Queen c1, queen d2, knight c6, queen f2, queen e8, queen e3, and now it looks like Dean won a piece, but Magnus has perpetual check, and players agreed to draw. 2 draws in Grenke Chess Classic. So with the insane accuracy, 98.5 versus 99, you can clearly say that some of the best chess grandmasters are playing this game. Let's take a look at the standings. So Magnus is on the first place before the final round robin tournament, and then they will play playoff. So Rich Rapport second with 5 points, and actually I think they will be first 2 players in the standings and will play each other for the first place. Ding Liren, I can't say he's having a great tournament. He lost 1 game and made 7 draws. That's absolutely insane, but he hasn't won a single game like Vincent Keimer. He lost 2 and drew 6 games. Even Daniel Friedman won a game, though he's the biggest, target for all those grandmasters. But let's see what happens in the final day. We're waiting for the playoffs to happen, and I'll see you very soon. Bye bye.